Hi, this is Deacon Larry, and this is Renewed. Welcome back to another episode of Renewed. We're continuing our conversation with Kelly. Kelly, would you like to introduce yourself again?
My name's Kelly Jones. I'm a parishioner here at St. Theresa's. My husband works here in the communications department.
Very good.
Excited to ask you another question.
Delighted to have you.
Are all saints incorrupted or incorruptible?
The Incorruptibles, the big category amongst the way we talk about saints. You know, the reality is, our belief is, holiness has an effect. It has not only effect on our physical, on our mind, on our emotions, on our spirit, but also physically on our bodies. And so, a couple of examples of holiness while living: St. Francis of Assisi, who bore the stigmata, or Padre Pio, who bore the stigmata. He was so associated with Christ that the very signs of Christ were present in his body. An example in death: St. Kateri Tekakwitha, who was tremendously scarred from the pox that she had as a child. And when she died at the age of 24, it's said that the day after she died, people came to her and her skin was pure as an innocent child. And so holiness has an effect on us. One of the tests that are used to investigate somebody is sanctity, is to exhume them, to take their body from the ground. And the reason for that is, over the history of the church, there have been those who have been discovered who have not disintegrated. I personally have been to an exhumation. Somebody who is dead for about 17 years, and at the end of 17 years, their bones pretty much fall apart. You might find a little shred of cloth here or there, but truly, we are corruptible, and we see that. In the case of the Incorruptibles, what happens when they're exhumed, and it's a sign of holiness. That's what we understand. It's a sign of God's favor, that their skin may be intact, their body remains intact, and they look as if they had just died, that there is no sign of destruction in their interior organs, perhaps even in their exterior. If you travel around Europe and you're in a variety of places, you'll find those incorruptibles who remain intact. Kelly, we were talking before about in the process when somebody's first being investigated, exhume them and look and see if they're incorrupt. At the time they're made a blessed, you check again. Before canonization, check again. Because it's a confirmation of God's continuing favor and the holiness that these persons exhibited in the course of their lives. It's an amazing, miraculous. That's the only way we can talk about what happens, because our natural propensity of the body is to decay. But being incorrupt reminds us of what? It reminds us of paradise. It reminds us of what eternal life would be, and that is that we're no longer deteriorating, we're no longer inclined to disintegrate, that rather we're inclined to be made whole and to stay whole. And that's the promise that we look for towards eternal life. So being incorruptible is really quite an amazing thing, isn't it? To be able to see somebody in that state and to recognize and be reminded of their holiness. We can often get caught up in the science and the medicine of incorruptibility and get caught up in the minutia, and we can miss what's the reminder for us. And the reminder for us is incorruptibility is a message about holiness. If we keep that in mind, we have the opportunity indeed to be renewed.
Please like, subscribe, or comment below.